in some of these viral interactions between Dr. Umar and Ish, that dynamic is very apparent.
Because they worse off than us.
You a study.
They're worse off than us.
No, they're not worse off than us. That's the absolute lie. Listen,
listen.
Can't teach her nothing. You see that? You're not gonna let him outdo him on this camera.
And homie, you got it wrong. Homie ain't getting on just 'cause homie got a song.
In this video, we'll break down the somewhat viral interaction between Dr. Umar Johnson and Ish from Joe Budden. But first, I'd like to welcome you to Doing It for GP. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment if you like the content, and if you so choose, scan the QR code to donate to the channel. And with that, let's take this walk. And let me just say this. No matter the credentials, no matter the degrees, no matter how long a person's been in a certain profession, whether their life's work has been spent researching and debating specific topics, perfecting their analysis and position for future debate. One thing's for certain, two things for sure, one thing will always be true. A man in this community will always be open for challenge. To it. And in some of these viral interactions between Dr. Umar and Ish, that dynamic is very apparent.
Because they worse off than us.
You a study.
They're worse off than us.
No, they're not worse off than us. That's the absolute lie. Listen, listen.
Can't teach her nothing. You see that? You're not gonna let him outdo him on this camera. You say, listen, the white woman killed, right? And did you know that he gonna cut you off and he's on guard now because you ain't gonna teach him nothing. He gonna show you what he know. Shut the fuck up.
Now, I'm not here to take a position on any specific topics they covered, but what I will say is Dr. Umar put on a clinic in debate protocol. He knew his opponent, and then he set him up with triggering bait, and then bombarded him with historical facts that Ish just frankly wasn't prepared for as a who builds houses. And as ridiculous as it may have sounded to an immature mind, with the reality that we live in, Umar correctly pointed out how Ish's dating choices affected his opinions on black plight and solutions. You think of all the people that the community sees as bootlicks, for instance, Candace Owens, Officer Tatum, Larry Elder, Terry Crews, Clarence Thomas. You name it! Love who you want, just understand. Falling in love outside the community opened you up to being a little less pro-black because, frankly, you empathize with who you love. And outside of liking black dick and pussy, people outside the community, whether they just don't know, are conscious of it or not, may harbor anti-black sentiments that have been indoctrinated to them and us, mostly through media and many other variables. For example,
I just thought that from him to say it from far away and say that about African Americans, like, my man, you need to deal with your fucking problem.
Well, he's also, his wife's black, and I mean,
but that's great.
I don't know. I'm just saying maybe that's mentality
okay,
of some
First of all, just the fact that his wife black means nothing.
I'm just saying from a context of like, I don't know, because I'm not black, so I'm not going to comment on it. Chicago, no one talks about anything.
But because
let me ask you, you mentioned Chicago, why? Because
well, just because it's like news that should be news, but it's not reported.
Talking about Chicago as if Chicago is the murder capital of. It's not. The top 10 states that have the highest level of murder are red states. What I'm saying is, I know you didn't mean your intention was no. That's not the point. But I'm saying that on a base level, to say when you say, well, his wife is black, or he dated a black girl.
What the fuck does that mean?
Or what about Chicago? Or all of these things are this is what I mean. How the programming, the anti-black programming, is so pervasive that it's not even a thought process.
Like, what about
it's the automatic thing that we go
little shit like that. Every woman I've dated outside the community have had to be checked for little slick shit they've said about women of the community. But for a guy like Ish, who made the I'm not black, I'm OJ point, for a guy who's usually the pro-black guy who takes the pro-black stances on the show, seemed like his energy switched up a little bit. Think Shannon Sharp. And will scream to the high heavens how pro-black he is until you question the non-pro-black choices his dick makes. And then he's all lives matter. And I'll leave this point here because I did think it was a solid point and connection made with how most of Ish's answers became shaped after he had to defend his dating choices. Bottom line is, you cannot be pro-black if you are not pro-black family. And that's not a shot, that's mathematics. And what was also mathematics was the outcome of this back and forth. At the time of this video, the full interview isn't really out to the public. But from what we've seen so far, we got a arguing with his emotions and logic from how he sees it, versus a scholar who prepared points to back up his arguments whether you agree with him or not. And this challenger dynamic that we have is one of the biggest reasons we can't unify. Someone always gotta think they know better in this community and don't know shit. But if we knew better, we'd do better. Till next time.
Like we ain't got shit to do, it's a off night. For y'all, every night is a off night. Hustle is swag, but you can't get your guap right.